after what is considered a uneventful, to say the least, trade deadline for the Chicago Cubs, at least less eventful than we thought it was going to be. And then, of course, after the White Sox make the deal that they make, we got so much to talk about. I'm here with the homie Tyrone. We're going to go ahead and do 2 episodes in one. That's right. We're on Chicago Cubs Central and we're on Chicago White Sox Central at the same time. So we got to hit you with both those intros. We're going to do the Cubs first.
Welcome to Chicago White Sox Central, your #1 place for all Sox news and content.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate each and every last one of you guys for tuning in to another episode of Chicago Cubs and Chicago White Sox Central. Remember, this is your #1 spot for each respective team. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe if this is your first time watching. Shout out to everybody. We are not only on X right now, we are on Twitter right now. I'm sorry, they're the same thing. X, YouTube, wherever you're watching us at, we appreciate you. Come on in. Make sure you guys go ahead and drop a comment below. We want to have some conversation with you guys. We're going to have some fun tonight, man. We are doing a trade deadline special. And, of course, y'all, you know, I can't do it without my road dog, my man, my brother from another mother. Tyrone, what's going on, LB, my boy?
Man, I can't call it, man. I appreciate you having me on like always, man. And we got a lot of things to discuss, man. A lot of things that I can't say I'm surprised, but you know, it's something that we gotta talk through as a family. So always an honor to come back, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course, as always. So let's get right down to business. So, all right. We come into this deadline and we have this mindset, this thought process that the Chicago Cubs are about to make some big moves. We're going to start with the Cubs first. We're going to switch over to the White Sox. We're going to talk both. Cubs, we had this thought process that the Chicago Cubs were going to make major moves, major additions to be huge players in this trade deadline, to add on to what seems to be a team trying to contend for a World Series. And I mean, we can just be blunt with it and frank with it. I don't think they accomplished that goal. I don't think they accomplished that goal. I think that, you know, we added some things, but I do think we are a playoff team. I do not think that we are a World Series contender any longer. I do not see us potentially making it out of the first round. I don't see us winning the division any longer, and probably not making it out the first round, unfortunately. But I mean, that's on par for what Craig Counsell has been for pretty much his whole managing career, right?
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts, just to start off in a roundabout way, and then we'll get into each individual trade?
Pretty much the same, man. I was definitely hoping for, you know, a couple smash moves. You know, we all know the needs that we have on this team, particularly on the starting pitching side. So I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't even try to even get like a lower tier starting pitcher. You know what I'm saying? Like a Shane Bieber or a Dylan Cease, something like that. That, you know, yes, we were going to require some prospect, but not probably like the top of the line prospect. So,
right.
Disappointed in that regard. But I can't say I'm surprised because, as you know, Chicago teams, you know, the owner always gonna have the final say so, and it's only so much that Jed, you know, and you know, is ultimately allowed to do, and you know, it just showed here today. So definitely disappointed, but you know, just gonna have to thug it out, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm thinking about too. I think a good way to describe this is Jed Hoyer went halfway in on this. Like they aren't fully committed to trying to win the World Series this year, and maybe they just don't think that they're good enough for what they have to win the World Series this year. I do know that from jump, a lot of us were expecting to probably, I mean, me and you have conversation every day leading up to the trade deadline. We talked every day, prospects, potential of what was going to come of all of this. And we looked at it and we said, okay, the Chicago Cubs, you could be looking at where this team come 5 o'clock on Thursday could be without James Triantos, could be without Moses Ballesteros. You didn't really Kevin Alcantara, but you didn't really think Jackson Wiggins. You didn't want Jackson Wiggins going. I don't want Owen Casey going. Those were kind of like our two caveats that we said, okay, these guys, unless you're getting like a bona fide stud, these guys are the two guys that you didn't want to lose on the team. And so, but you turn around and the Chicago Cubs actually did end up giving up any of their young prospects. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think that's good, or do you think that's bad? Do you think that's a sign that they probably aren't trading Tucker? I mean, aren't going to resign Tucker?
I mean, I can't see a reason why you don't think that. When you know, it's not like we don't have one of the best farms in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, yep. I'm not saying we have a surplus, but we ain't lacking for any certain imagination. So not trading at least a couple pieces to get a starting pitcher when there was a plethora out there, and that does surprise me, and it does make you wonder: are they going to pay the big money for Kyle Tucker? Or are they going to just are they just waiting on Owen Casey or other Kevin Alcantara to take that forward, and they're going to just build this thing organically? So. Yep. There's a lot of questions that I have that I would like answered, but like I said before, I can't say I'm surprised because we've been doing this, ever since the Rick has been here. So like I said, I was surprised that we even got Kyle Tucker to begin with. So them doing this and kind of trying to be halfway in and not really going all the way doesn't surprise me, but it definitely does put a ceiling on the season because we are lacking something that's huge. We need a starting pitcher, even though we did get one potentially, but we need something that's more on the top of the rotation level to get what we need to get, and we didn't do that this deadline.
Absolutely. So you look now at the Chicago Cubs pitching rotation, starting pitcher rotation. You put Matthew Boyd up there. You put Shota Imanaga up there. You will then keep Cade Horton. Obviously, is going to stay up in the majors. I think he's a major league pitcher now. And then, like I said, you have Jameson Taillon, and then you have their new guy that they just traded for. From Washington. That looks to probably either fit into that fifth role, or you can put I guess kind of keep you can also look at potentially keeping somebody up, putting somebody else up there. I mean, you didn't get rid of Ben Brown like I thought we were going to. You didn't move on from some of the pieces that like Colin Ray that I thought you might have been able to. We DFA'd some guys, but yeah, just not a lot of movement that we thought we were going to see from the Chicago Cubs in their part of today's trade deadline. So you look at the Chicago Cubs and what they have now, and again, it just doesn't feel like they have enough to really, do damage and to really be a force. Now, again, we could all be wrong. You never know what happens once you get into the playoffs, and that's kind of what they're always counting on. But you look at Merrill Kelly not being traded for by the Chicago Cubs. You look at Pittsburgh not making the deal that we thought they were going to make. Like I said, of course, we all were hoping for Mackenzie Gore, but these players, I do want to stress this on Jed's defense. That's probably the only thing I'll say in his defense. These teams were trying to rate the Chicago Cubs of pretty much everything. Like, to get a Mackenzie Gore, who doesn't have a great ERA, does have great stuff, does have team control, to get a Sandy Alcantara, places like that, you were looking at potentially having to basically wipe out a lot of your talent. You're probably going to have to end up trading Alcantara, Casey, and like somebody like a Jackson Wiggins for something like that. So when you look at it from that standpoint, like, as mad as I want to be at Jed, I get it. I kind of understand, like, you can't necessarily just give everything away for one starting pitcher, you know?
Yeah, I agree. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a tough position to be in because, you know, we definitely are talented enough to compete with anybody. But, you know, like you said, like, are we not gonna? I'm not gonna just deplete my whole farm system for one player, you know, and you know things can change in the blink of an eye. So
Yep.
I do get him in that regard. It's just, you know, we don't have to see it. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm cool with, you know, if we're gonna do this thing organically, let's rock out. You know, that's how the best teams operate. You know, we saw it. I know it's a different sport, but you see it with OKC. You know what I'm saying, in the NBA. You know, if you build within, you know what I'm saying, and you get good talent, and they come up in the majors and produce, it does help you, you know, in the long run. But I just, you know, I'm just gonna have to see it. You know, we see it with a couple of the prospects. You know, Matt Shaw has been good. Morrison, he had a big time hit last game, but I think it'll just be naive to think that all those young players are going to try to help contribute right now. They definitely are going to help in the future, but
Yeah.
it's just going to take a while. So I feel like that's the route they are willing to take, and they're just showing it right now.
The wait and see route versus going all in right now.
Yeah.
I do have breaking news for you that just dropped per PJ Mooney, which I want to make sure. Yep, he's a point senior writer at The Athletic. He's a contributor to Foul Territory and Inside Territory. The Cubs have designated for assignment Ryan Presley as a corresponding move to trading for Taylor Rogers. So Ryan Presley is officially no longer a Chicago Cub. I know that he will probably end up being picked up by somebody else, but yeah, Ryan Presley is no longer a Chicago Cub, guys. Like I said, he started out, he's supposed to be the Chicago Cubs closer, which is hilarious. That's how he started out the season. And literally, from supposed to be our closer to now he's not even on the team at the trade deadline. So, yeah, no, man. What are your thoughts on Presley no longer being with the club?
I mean, you know, it was kind of a risky move to begin with, you know, because it's never fun if another team, they're like, yeah, go ahead and grab him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I heard they had like a nickname for him, like Presley or something.
It was like Stressley Presley is what they called him.
Like you don't. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? If you a closer, if you got a nickname called Stress, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? So it was already a risky move to begin with, but you know, it just shows a whole that if you're not cutting the onions to withstand be on this team, you know, you're not gonna be here for long. So I credit them for, you know, making the move and you know, not just letting it linger and he just being here, just everything being all awkward, you know. So he definitely had his good moments, but you know, he was just too inconsistent. I definitely felt like his age played a part in it as well. So hopefully he finds somewhere better. But I definitely think it was a move that was coming. I see from a mile away.
Yeah, it was kind of time. Like I said, for Presley. I mean, we had saw all that we could see from him. They aren't giving up on Porter Hodge yet, but they kind of need to. We also may look to that fifth spot really might end up being a platoon spot, you know, like I said, because we also have Javi coming back too. So, like I said, that's kind of the other thing that we're looking at too. So Javier Assad is looking to potentially come back also. So I don't know if they're going to try to slot him in as a fifth starter, or if they're going to try to put him in to the bullpen. But either way, he's a big help to this bullpen. So getting him back will be huge. But yeah, Taylor Rogers is officially a part of the Chicago Cubs. He's a left-handed pitcher. They got him from the Pirates. He was actually traded in the Key Brian Hayes trade yesterday. And so, like I said, he's now a Cub. The Cubs made that trade for him. And yeah, man, like I said, we are trying to move forward and build our bullpen up and put as many arms in our bullpen. Yency Almonte was pitching in Double-A, so he's trying to work his way back to getting up to the majors. He's another good strong pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. So yeah, man, like I said, we are trying to move forward. Taylor Rogers was the big first piece. I'm sorry, not the big first piece. I think one of the bigger pieces. But then we also have to look at what the Chicago Cubs did for their bench. So the Chicago Cubs did strengthen up their bench, which was huge for them by trading with the Minnesota Twins and getting Willie Castro from them. Now, Willie Castro has played every single position outside of catcher and I think pitcher for a team. So he can play infield, he could play he could play outfield, and he also is able to hit lefties, which is something that the Chicago Cubs have struggled against this year. So for him, I think it's pretty huge that that we did pick him up. What do you think about that pickup?
Yeah, I definitely think he definitely strengthens our bench. He first got on my radar because I be on X Twitter a lot, and I saw that he was congratulating his teammates and things of that nature. So I thought people thought he was going to be on the move yesterday. So just to see him be on the team now is a good piece. We definitely need bench help. Definitely need somebody that's a switch hitter and can play different position. And he could play center as well. That definitely can help PCA get some games off if he needs it towards the end of the season. So I think it's a strong move. He was an all-star last year, so he ain't weak. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
So it's definitely a piece that we sure enough need because I feel like our bench was lacking. We just designated for assignment. What's the guy name?
Brujan.
Yep. Yeah, Virhan. So we definitely needed somebody to replace that, and I feel like he was the best candidate. So I do salute Jed for doing that and really focusing on trying to get our relief pitching sustainable.
Yeah, speaking of that, so Mike Soroka from the Washington Nationals was the big piece that I guess could potentially slide into that fifth spot in the pitching rotation. So he was the piece that we look at now and turn to as, okay, can he be a long type reliever type guy, or let's say if Ben Brown or Colin Ray has a bad outing, or could Mike Soroka actually overtake them and become that fifth starter for the Chicago Cubs? And then you move Brown to the bullpen, and then you also look at Colin Ray maybe as sometimes being able to take a spot start, but also being able to help out the Chicago Cubs and the bullpen also. So I mean, like I said, we really got to see what he has now. Mike Soroka, as far as pitching this season, his stats look like this: he's 3-8 with a 4.87 ERA. 87 strikeouts and a 1.13 WHIP. What it looks like is he's more of a contact type pitcher than a strikeout type pitcher. So when you look at that and you look at what he brings to the table, you look at the fact that he probably is hitting, like he's probably getting hit and just been super unlucky. So the Cubs look to kind of help him out a little bit with that, with us having one of the best infield defenses and definitely one of the best outfield defenses. So, like I said, you look at him and you say to yourself, okay, if he gets a lot of ground ball contact, something like that, he could definitely be a guy that the Chicago Cubs can turn around and maybe use and he can get outs on the ground and hopefully be a piece like that. What do you think about that pickup?
Yeah, I was. That's what I read about him a lot. That he was pitching for a team that had one of the worst defenses in the league. So that definitely contributes to a lot of things going on with ERA. So having our team as one of the best infield and outfield defenses will help him out. He's young. I believe he's 27. Around that age. So you know me, I want somebody young, and you know I feel like that's the type of person you take a swing on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, it's definitely not a home run hitter that we would want, but it's definitely someone that we can help mold. And what I'm seeing is it's creating a competition for that fifth spot. You know, if he gonna get it, great. If Javier Assad comes do his thing, it's great. If Jordan Wicks come back from you know what I'm saying, from what he went through and take some over and hold the reins, like it's really any man's job to win. And we are just giving ourselves a variety of pitchers to do that. So I definitely am for that move. Hopefully our pitching coaches and our staff can help this young man out and he contribute for us.
Tommy Honaby definitely has his work cut out for him. I will say that the Chicago Cubs, instead of going out and getting surefire pieces, I feel like they either went and got a lot of rehab projects, or they got young, or they got somebody that's a little bit younger. So on the rehab side, you look at, they also traded for Andrew Kittredge from the Baltimore Orioles. He has a 2025 stats. He has 0 saves, but he has a 3.45 ERA. 32 Ks, and a 1.09 whip. So he is somebody also that the Chicago Cubs do believe that they can mold back into, a pitcher that gets contact. I mean, literally. So it looks like what this team has done is they tried their best to either prevent the home run ball by getting guys that get out by contacts, get a lot of ground balls, and try to keep you and use their all-star studded defense, their Gold Glove defense out there in the infield to get outs. This is tricky, and this isn't necessarily the best route to go because you have a lot of pitchers that pitch to contact. You don't have really any strikeout pitchers. Now, I don't know what Jameson Taillon is going to look like when he comes back from injury, but that's going to be huge. He needs to be a strikeout pitcher because otherwise Chicago Cubs are going to struggle in the postseason. But, I mean, if Imanaga can get his mind right, I know Boyd's going to bounce back. He'll pitch Sunday. If Imanaga can get his mind right, and then Jameson Taillon can get healthy, we can win a wild card series. Now, past that, I don't feel confident at all. I don't feel confident at all. You can win a wild card series. Once you get to that next level and you start playing division series, listen, that's when it's going to get tough. But I think Jed is counting on this offense to pick back up a little bit and to be what it was during the month of April, May, and June. So, and it very well could be. I mean, like I said, we don't really know what it's going to be like, but it very well could end up being like that. But yeah, Andrew Kittredge was another piece for them. But it's some teams that got some juggernauts, man. They got some really good pieces. But let's look over at the White Sox side because they also did make some trades too before the deadline. Their stuff was also more so looked at as them kind of dumping salary, dumping pieces to go ahead and continue on with their rebuild and keep that young roster building up and going. So the White Sox did in turn try go ahead and make the move. The Tampa Bay Rays traded for Adrian Hauser from the White Sox, and that was their big move, was to let go of Adrian Hauser. The White Sox received Curtis Mead, an infielder from Tampa Bay, for Hauser, along with prospects Duncan DeVitt and Benjamin Peoples. So, I hate to go back to the Cubs, but I really thought the Cubs probably had a shot to maybe even trade for Adrian Hauser. I mean, we just saw him last weekend, and he dealt the Cubs. Well, it was horrible. Like I said, it was tough. But like I said, we definitely missed out on that. But the Tampa Bay Rays did make a deal for Hauser, so he'll be probably their ace now moving forward. What do you think about this deal for them? I mean, just like I said, just getting young.
Yeah, I mean, for the White Sox, they need to just pile on assets and just bank on just the assets evolving into a team that can compete later on. I feel like they recognize it's going to be a multiple year rebuild. I'm kind of surprised that they did not trade Luis Roberts Jr. I feel like his name's been out there for the last couple of years as a possible trade candidate, but maybe they see something in him, and I feel like they are heading in the right direction. I feel like they finally got a coach that actually is building a culture that they can abide by. They definitely got a couple young prospects. Oh my boy,
what's going on up there,
man? What's up, brother?
What's going on up there?
What up, C?
My boy, my favorite roommate.
What's good? Hey, you see how they came over to the north side and shit,
Hey man, I can't.
I had to give up that damn Sox bullshit years ago, man. I'm about 7 years in now, man.
Hey man, I'm just glad that you chose happiness instead of despair. Goddamn it.
Not complete happiness, but more happier than being on the south side for sure.
For sure.
Because the Cubs then pissed a lot of people off too. I look. So see, we were actually talking about the White Sox as you came in, because like I said, the White Sox have a young roster that they're putting together, and honestly, in 2 to 3 years, they are going to be good. Also, guys, we are going to hit the comments over on the side, so please leave your comments over there. Let us know what you guys are feeling. Like I said, welcome to Chicago Cubs and Chicago White Sox Central, your number one spot for all things Cubs and White Sox. Holding it down for Big Kev on the White Sox side, and of course, I got my boys with me over here for the Chicago Cubs side. I got my man Tyrone LB Papa and my brother from another mother, Claude Henry, here too. We just talking some baseball. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, but I'm looking at this White Sox team, and I don't know that Hauser necessarily fit the timeline of everybody else that's young. So you look at this and you say to yourself, like, man, they really made the right decision. And like I said, they got an infielder and they got 2 prospects for him, and that was really all they needed to do, because they're right on the heater right now. They just took 2 of 3 from the Phillies. You know what they did against the Cubs? I mean, they beat up on Shota Imanaga last Friday, and I mean, so the White Sox are figuring things out slowly but surely. And in a couple of years, guys, for all the White Sox fans that's watching, they are going to be a force in a couple of years. They are not going to be to be played with. See, you shaking your head. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we thought that the last time they made a playoff appearance, and what the hell happened?
I mean, yeah, listen, you ain't wrong.
They had a young, talented squad then, and one season, and then the manager. Not to mention, they fucked up by hiring goddamn, what's the motherfucker's name? I forgot his name. He didn't
that old 70-year-old weirdo.
Yeah. I knew when they hired his ass, I was like, yeah, it's only a matter of time. And they just had one good season. And that was it. So I was like, man, they just getting their own way. As long as Jerry owns this team, same thing with the Bulls.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Don't go down.
I know.
Don't talk about the niggas out west, man. Please.
We just gonna keep it strictly under the radar of the GM. So I ain't gonna throw the ownership in this shit. But yeah.
Yeah, man. I like the direction the White Sox are going. I like their young manager. I like that the team is going younger and getting younger. I like all the things that they're doing, but you're absolutely right. They have to put the right people in place to be successful. And again, they got to make the right moves to be successful. Now they've started in a good direction. They're headed in the right road. Do not get in your way and mess things up. So we'll just have to see what the Sox end up doing. But they have an opportunity here to really, really, really be good and to really put some people on notice this year. But yeah, so moving back to the Cubs, let's go and look. We just got some conversations going on over here. Uh, what up? Oh wait, is it showing? Might be showing. Let me see. Okay. Saquon says, if we extend Tucker, all is forgiven. So that's the thing, and I think I said this to you, Tyrone, when we were talking earlier. I look at the moves that were made, and they don't say we're signing Tucker back. They say that Owen Casey is probably going to be your left fielder. I'm sorry, your right fielder next season. I look at these moves, and you told us now. You said so much that we're in win now mode. We're in win now mode. We're in win now mode. But the moves that you made do not say that you're in win now mode. They say that you were playing it safe. The Chicago Cubs, point blank period, played it safe throughout this this trade deadline. Now again, what they were wanting from you, and what was crazy was like people wanted Matt Shaw more than they wanted Owen Casey. So teams actually wanted us to trade Matt Shaw. The problem with that is we didn't have a stinking third baseman. So, like I said, you just DFA Brujan, to make room for
Castro.
for Castro, for Willie Castro. So then, like I said, you have him now on the team who hits great against lefties. And then you didn't put yourself in the position in the offseason to really be true players during the regular season. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you should have traded for Alex Bregman. You should have made the move for Alex Bregman. Had you made the move for Alex Bregman, that would have made Matt Shaw expendable. And then you could have traded him to go out and get one of those pitchers. But this was definitely a seller's market this year at the trade deadline. I mean, the type of command that people were getting. I mean, the Padres are probably the most active team in the deadline. And everything that they did, I mean, they gave up a lot for what they got. So, but they're trying to contend. They're trying to get a wild card spot by hook or crook. So Cincinnati made some moves. And like everybody is saying, thank God that the Brewers didn't make moves. The Brewers did stand pat. They have the best record right now in the National League, and they're very confident and comfortable with where they're at. Unfortunately, the Cubs are looking up again, only back by a game. But the Brewers' schedule doesn't lend to them necessarily having too many struggles. So what are your guys' thoughts on all of that?
Bro, I just gotta say this. Like, what is it about the damn Brewers, man? Like, every single season, these motherfuckers always winning games, but come postseason, it's just like, all right, they out of here. But for whatever reason, they just always there. At least when it comes to division races and shit. And it's just like, damn, what can y'all be terrible consistently for once? They just always there. I'm like, it ain't, it's not even the Cardinals I'm worried about now. It's just mostly the Brewers now. So I'm like, shit. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. It definitely tells you how every team feels about what they're going through right now. I feel like every team thinks that they're in it, and I feel like that kind of impacted the trade deadline. It made things. It made the price of the brick higher than it normally used to be. You know what I'm saying? In a particular other trade deadline, because there's so many teams that feel like they are right there to win the wild card. So, it just shows, what I'm saying? And I found it funny. I kind of just remember this. Like a couple of weeks ago, Jed was saying that nobody was untouchable, you know what I'm saying? And things in that regard. And then just to do a 180 and not trade anybody, you know what I'm saying? Try anybody is kind of like an eye opener. So I feel like, like a lot of Chicago teams, he got that call from the big man. and said, "Hold up." He said,
Yeah.
"Hold up, I'm the nigga signing these checks."
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the person that making sure your rent get paid at the first. So hold on. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, until the Ricketts, you know what I'm saying, give Jed that full go, you know, we're gonna be in this continuous cycle. So, you know, we definitely did good, but I feel like, you know, we definitely let a lot on the table when you see what everybody else did around surrounding us.
Yeah. One of the regulars on Cubs Central, DY said Hoyer did not earn his money. So that's another thing, y'all. I've been out this week. Kev been covering for me. Shout out to Big Kev. I've been out this week due to my baby being born yesterday. But
Congratulations.
Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all, man. It's love. Yeah, man. My baby was born yesterday, man. He's a big boy already, and a chunker too, man. I can't wait for y'all to see him. But yeah, man. One thing we got to talk about was that it was announced earlier this week that Jed Hoyer did receive his extension already. He did sign an extension, so he will be the president of baseball operations for the foreseeable future for the Chicago Cubs. So with that being said, with this new contract in place, you think that links to him being able to make a move to sign Kyle Tucker or re-sign Kyle Tucker, but I just don't foresee that being in the Chicago Cubs plans. I think that we're about to see the young guys come up. Now, here's the thing. Rosters are soon going to expand too, and you're going to be able to bring more guys up and call more guys up. So you might look at calling up Moises Ballesteros. You might look up at seeing what Owen Casey could do. You might look at, seeing what some of these players can do that's in AAA that you refused to get rid of, because now's the time to try to get things right. Now is the time to try to get things right. And if you're going to get it right, like I said, it don't hurt anything now to see what these guys got, see what they could do for you, and see if you do have the potential for these guys to contribute on a big league level right now. So I'm all for allowing Owen Casey to come up and hit. I'm all for Mo Valley coming up again and hitting. I mean, he got a clutch 3-run double to help us beat the Brewers yesterday. I mean, we needed a big hit like that. We missed the big hits in that series against them when we had guys in scoring position, and our offense has come to a standstill. We already know we don't pitch, we don't hit good against left-handed hitters, but at the same time, we had just come to a standstill altogether. So now I'm looking at us and I'm like, man, okay, we got some movement now. We got some movement. We could slide Willie Castro into the batting order, and he could hopefully hit lefties well, maybe drive in some runs, as well as get on base and present a more opportunity for Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki, Michael Busch, and PCA to do more damage. Which the top part of our batting order has to get it together.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like the top of the rotation has not been doing their job. Kyle Tucker, he definitely has had a better game last game, but he's been in a slump. Suzuki, he been out there tweaking. Like I would just tell you,
back to it.
When you talk good about a nigga, they show you that you shouldn't even do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So. The top of the rotation definitely has to get better, but like you said, reinforcement is coming. We definitely have to start playing the young guys in September when that happens. But for the month of August, I feel like Willie Castro and the top of the rotation have to do their job to get us in the position we want to be. You know what I'm saying? We only one game back. It ain't like we 5, 6, 10. We are one game back from being the best team in the NL in the NL period, and I feel like we can attain that. You know what I'm saying? And we play the Brewers again later on in the season, so it ain't all over. But we gotta lock in. You know what I'm saying? We gotta lock in. We gotta start drawing walks and getting about batting count high like we did before the All-Star break. And that's going to transition into us getting more runs that we need to get.
It's crazy because it's like the Cubs had known the recipe for success, because anytime that they take their walks, that they don't strike out, and that they get high pitch counts on these pitchers, especially these elite pitchers, they always win. They always win. They always come through. They always get that clutch big hit, or they score just enough to win. And it feels like they sometimes go away from that. And that's where the problem lies, is when you start going away from what you do that offers so much success for your team. When you are able to get high pitch counts, when you are able to take your walks, and when you start stealing bases. Like I feel like I haven't seen a dude try to steal a base in like 2 weeks. You know, come on, guys, let's get back in motion. Let's start doing the things that we know to do on how we can be successful as a team. And one of those things is stealing bags and making sure that we keep pressure on these teams to make sure that the Chicago Cubs and these pitchers have their heads on a swivel. So that's really important.
I agree, man. You know, and a lot of things that you said, it's a lot of things we talked about in the mid-season episode that, you know, I feel like we getting away from. So, like I said, you know, it ain't all in the all be all. It's still a lot of baseball left, but these last couple series, you know, kind of, if these series don't wake your mind up, we ain't ready for playoff baseball like we thought we were. So, I feel like we can still do it. We only one game out. We just gotta lock in, man.
Yep. Any last thoughts from you, on everything?
You said what?
Any last thoughts from you?
Look, they better pay PCA. That's all I know, man. When the time comes, pay that man. Hey,
home, bro.
Whatever he want, give it to him, bro. Like, give him whatever money he needs, bro. Because no, that man is the truth, man. Especially if he win MVP, the price is gonna go up.
Yeah. With Shota Imanaga struggling like he is right now, I'm sorry, not Shota Imanaga, I apologize. With Shohei Ohtani struggling like he is right now, this is a prime opportunity for PCA to really be in the MVP conversation. But he's going to have to hit home runs. He's going to have to get that batting average back up to a respectable 278. Keep it, if you hover around between 278, 280, you finish the season with around 35 to 40 home runs, 50 stolen bases, 50 doubles, things like that. Those things lead up to you getting to take it home the hardware, because he has the potential to not only be a Gold Glove, he has the potential to win the Platinum Glove this season as the best defender in general for the National League. So, and this won't be his last time being in these type of conversations. So, I'm like I said, I mean, he's just getting started, but you want to capitalize as much as you can on the hardware, especially when you're looking for that big payday come down the road.
Yeah. For sure. If he won the MVP, wouldn't he be the first since who was the last Cubs guy to win MVP again?
Chris Bryant.
It was Bryant. Yep. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. KP.
Yep, Chris Bryant. Yep. He would be the first one to do it. So yeah, I mean, like I said, Jed Hoyer's comments live on the Marquee Sports Network. This is what he said. The focus was starting pitching, and it was a tight starting pitching market. So he did admit that he did come into this with his focus being on starting pitching, but it was a tight market. One thing you can know about Jed Hoyer, he's not going to get squeezed by nobody. He does not. You're not going to outmaneuver him. He's not going to get got by nobody. Like that's not his style. Now, if it was Theo still here, Theo might have made a couple of the moves that Jed didn't make. But Jed refuses to be squeezed by anybody. Like it's just not going to happen like that. Like if you want him, to make a deal with you, then it needs to either benefit the Cubs more or at least benefit us both equal. But he's never going to do a move where the Cubs end up getting the short end of the stick. And that's one thing I can say about him from his time being here. So, I mean, that's like I said, he's speaking what he thought and what he felt. And again, we talked about it. The Chicago Cubs, teams wanted the Chicago Cubs to give up Matt Shaw, Owen Casey, Moises Ballesteros. They and not just one. They were looking to hopefully get like 2 or 3 of them. Like you would have had to give up Matt Shaw, Moises Ballesteros, and Jackson Wiggins for one pitcher or something like that. I mean, you look at it, like I said, Joe Ryan never got traded. Sandy Alcantara never got traded. Edward Cabrera never got traded because it was a seller's market, and a lot of these teams refused to get squeezed by these guys. So, like I said, while there was some movement, you didn't see the movement you thought you were going to see, and a lot of it has to do with these guys not being willing to make deals where they end up mortgaging their future for rentals.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be the Phoenix Suns, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be the Phoenix Suns.
That's it. That's the one right there. That is it right there. So, yeah, man, this has been fun, though, man, doing this trade deadline special with y'all. I appreciate you guys for jumping on with your boy, recording something, putting it out there for the people, man. Like I said, I just want to do something for everybody. Like I said, I miss you guys. I will record tomorrow, and then Saturday will probably be Kev one more time. Hopefully, we hope to be discharged from the hospital Saturday, and then, like I said, we could take a little man home, and hopefully we get 3 Cubs wins this weekend. Hopefully, we go for a sweep because we're going against the Orioles that literally just gave up everybody. They got the decks. They basically are a AAA team now. So with them doing that, there's no reason why any 3 of your pitchers should struggle this weekend against them, which I will detail that in the daily episode. But we just want to do this special edition trade deadline. I appreciate my brothers for jumping on with me, man, and doing this. Any last words, fellas? LB, you first.
Hey, man, it's always been an honor. You know, anytime I come on this platform, you know, anytime you need me, bro, I'm here. You know, we definitely been going through a lot these last couple of days, but we definitely have the resources we need. We definitely got the time left needed to make a run, and we just gotta be patient. You know what I'm saying? Definitely didn't like. It's not the outcome we might have wanted, but you know, we're just gonna have to see how it is. So, y'all, I know I'm rocking, man. I appreciate y'all for having me, and y'all, thank y'all, man.
Yeah, absolutely. See, you got any last thoughts?
Yeah, man, I'm just grateful for the opportunity link up with the fellas, man. I know it's been a minute since me and Ty talked, man, but hey, I gotta hop on your pod when we talk about these damn Bears, man.
Hey, you know I got you, man. You know I got you, man. We gonna get some. I got you.
We get some depression or some excitement. I don't know.
For sure. Which, by the way, Tyrone, plug your stuff, bro.
Hey, shout out to my YouTube. I'm building on there. So go to LB Papa. That's LB PAPA. I'm starting to do videos on there. I'm gonna try to transition to do podcasts and then start my get the show back rolling. But until then, follow the YouTube. We doing weekly content, and we're gonna grow together, man.
Exactly. Just like that, bro. Brother supporting brothers, don't forget Big C is in charge of We Book It podcast. If you guys are wrestling fans, he's out there too, handling the We Book It channel while I am on sabbatical. Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys so much for coming on. I love the fact I can always call my brothers when I need them to come on and pod with me and talk whatever we need to talk about. So thank y'all so much, man. And thank all of you that tuned in. Appreciate each and every last one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. Make sure that you guys leave a comment. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe. If you want the Chicago Cubs to win the World Series, make sure you like this episode. If you want the Chicago White Sox to win the World Series one day, make sure you like the pod. If you want either one of your teams to make it to the World Series, please subscribe to the channel that you are watching on, whether that be Chicago Sports Central, whether that be Chicago White Sox Central, whether that be Chicago Cubs Central. Appreciate salute everybody that's watching on X as well. Thank you guys so much. I cannot tell you how much it means to us that we got the X people out here. Also, those of you watching this later, I posted this up on Podbean as well as on Apple platform as well as on Spotify platform. So salute you guys too. Thank you all so much. Until next time, go Cubs, go. Yeah, peace, y'all. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I gotta get to the joint. There we go. Hold on. This ain't my normal you did.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.